Okay, so this is the long-range plan template that you will use, and this is found on Edmodo, and it's also located underneath the internship forms on the School of Education website. So you'll just complete this for the class that you're in right now. If many of you probably don't know which grade level you're going to be doing your internship with, so just go ahead and use the grade level that you're working with right now if you would like, and you can use your cooperating teacher as a resource as well. But if you do happen to know which grade level you're going to be interning with in the fall, then go ahead and write out your long range plan for that. This does need to cover the social studies standards. So make sure that you are looking at those standards and then including a semester's worth of standards within your long range plan. So I'm not asking you to do the entire year like you would for your internship. I'm just asking you to cover the one semester that you're there, so the semester in the fall. So essentially, the purpose of a long range plan is to sort of be like your roadmap as you go through your internship. And normally, when you do your internship, you're going to do this with every single content area. I'm just making sure that you include social studies for this one so that you get a little bit of practice with it, and then I'll give you feedback as to how you can improve this for your internship. So again, this plan has to cover the time span that you're in for your teaching internship. So for most of you, I think all of you, that'll be this fall. And so the first thing you're going to do, this is very similar to the teacher work sample that you have to do, which I did make you write a TWS, contextual factors. Maybe I didn't. Maybe Dr. Vanderberg did, but one of us had you do this, where you had to do the first part of the teacher work sample. So what you'll do is basically just include that here, but making sure that you've covered all four of these factors that are found here within the prompt. So you'll do that here. And then the key to the long range plan is your reflection. Kind of just sort of how it was with your internship portfolio, we want to make sure that you are reflecting on how this information improves instruction and improves your students' achievement and performance. So that's what we want you to do here. And then your second one the second section is going to have you list out all of your learning goals, and so that's going to be directly aligned with the standards. So that's where you're going to want to look at the first semester's worth of standards for social studies, and do these things here. List your learning goals, show how your goals are aligned with local, state, or national standards, describe the types and levels of your learning goals. So are they skill-based? Are they performance-based? Are they content-based? What types of learning are they going to be doing? Discuss why your learning goals are appropriate for the students in terms of development. So what kind of prerequisite knowledge do they need, or what did they need to come into your class with? And what skills do they need to know? And then, what other student needs are there? Are there students that would need remediation? Blah, 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 blah. So this is a pretty in-depth section here. You will not have to be as in-depth right now. I just want you to kind of come up with a few things. Maybe for this fourth one here, you can just pick a couple of students that you're going to do this for. And then here, you're just simply going to list the topic. So for example, social studies, I know a lot of you did a unit on presidents, so that would be your topic, presidents. What skills or objectives go along with that? So you'll just list those objectives from the standards that go along with correlate to the standards, and then list your standards here, and then how long approximately do you think that will take? Okay, so ultimately you're going to have enough info here that it's going to cover essentially 12 to 14 weeks of time that you're there. So, and then again, just provide a brief unit description to and actually, I don't even care if you don't do this for right now. This is just simply for the 2-week unit that you're actually teaching in the classroom. So if you just want to do this section for the semester, like a first semester in the grade that you're in now, or if you can anticipate what you're going to be doing your internship for, that would be great. That would give you a little jump onto this. So, and then assessment, what kind of assessment do you plan on incorporating? Again, list 5 or 6 different things here. Monitoring student progress, what strategies do you have in place? So start thinking of how you're going to monitor your students' progress. Talk to your cooperating teacher now about what they do. What formal assessment strategies are you going to use? Again, list a few here. This doesn't have to be super complete because you're not actually planning for a whole semester, but I want you to get used to kind of writing a few of these things. And then how are you going to record grades? So maybe talk to your cooperating teacher and then come up with your own idea about how you plan on doing this. And then grading or criteria for assigning grades for report cards. What sorts of things, and this you probably will want to talk to your cooperating teacher because you'll want to go with kind of what your school does. And the school usually is determined by what the district sort of wants you to do. So, kind of give me a brief list there. It doesn't have to be very detailed again. I'm just looking for that you can put the right things in the right sections and that you're kind of on the right track for when you get to your internship. So I don't want you to be frightened of this assignment. And then list some classroom rules that you would have and the consequences for not following those rules, procedures for managing the non-instructional events, what happens when a student needs to go to the restroom, when they need to sharpen their pencil, when they need to line up, all of these things. And you probably have ideas from working in other teachers' classrooms. And then we've already discussed how you've already come up with a way to communicate with parents. So you could describe that here, or if you have other ideas, go ahead and describe that here as well. So pretty much this is it. You're just kind of thinking, and I really want you to think and do a good job with this. Again, not a lot of details are required at this point, but I want you to think about some of the things that you're going to have to do when you're doing your internship, and this is kind of like your practice long-range plan for your internship. So a lot of this will transfer to fall semester when you actually do the internship. So I think that's it for the long-range plan.